So college policies, we just had Rick sharing with us regarding those. And there's your students' rights and responsibilities. Policies and procedures, or there's links there to those in that page about adding, dropping and withdrawing. Those dates are listed on the tentative syllabus when you can drop with no recourse by this Friday. You're not allowed to drop the last week of the semester. And there is also a time somewhere 2/3 of the way through that is where you can withdraw and receive a W, which means that you will not receive a failing grade. But yeah, we can explore that, or if you have questions, let me know. So adding and withdrawing, complaints and grievances, there's a form there. Talk to Jessica, the LDA. That's the last day of attendance. If you go, if you don't show up, don't proceed with academic. If there's no academic activity in a blended or online class without talking to me, and it's a 2-week time frame for a semester length class, which is a little more complex if you meet like 3 or 4 times a week. But if we only meet twice, hope to hear something from you, and you can let me know ahead of time too. I can take notes and know ahead. That's okay as well. But pregnant students' rights, he talked about those. Talked to Michelle. Star Alert, veteran services, academic support, the library. Okay, we got that. Technical support at the help desk, student support services. The numbers are there. This is all, you have access to all of this in the syllabus, which there's a link to under the content page. Class meeting times and locations, that's in the wrong spot. There's counseling, there's faculty advising with people that are in your degree program and industry. Class meeting times again, those are right here. Course meeting times, Brooklyn Park campus, room D125. Some of you know where that is already. My apologies. From 5 until almost 9 o'clock. And these are the days that we have class. There is no class because of a workshop on February 9th. So we've got, 4 weeks of class, a day off, and then another 4, and it's spring break. And another few. There is no class on the 11th. I believe that is commencement. So there's no class then. And then the final exam is on the 18th from 5 until 9 o'clock. And here's the connections for Zoom. Everybody that I'm talking to is on Zoom so far, at least live. Here is the information about the textbook. Here's the version. It's the 2021 SolidWorks step-by-step base, and there's the ISBN. You can get that at the campus library, or you can go to, there's a link here, should be a link. You can go to the SDC Publications website and look up this ISBN number, and you can order it there. You can get with your, when you purchase a paper copy, you can also get a PDF electronic version, which you would log into something that's called redshelf.com. And you can find that on that website, on the SDC Publications website, which is right here. Oops, just Google SDC and then you'll get their website, and then you can find that redshelf.com is where you can get they will send you an email with a link to set up an account on that site, and will give you access to the electronic version of this, and that's free. You can buy just that version, or you can buy both. I like the paper one because you can also get the digital, but then it's time to look at something besides a screen, which is good for your eyes. Brightspace tools used in this course. D2L, let's see, things that we want you to know. navigating the computer operating system, how to create folders, creating a zip folder. I can do a quick video on that. So if you need that, you can look at it. Launching and quitting applications, X's, opening stuff, using Zoom to attend class meetings, how to upload files for the D2L assignment folder. We talked about that early on in this class period. Checking email for course communications. You want to do that a couple times a week. All right, I will assign grades and provide feedback on your assignments during the first hour of class and weekly, and on the first hour and after the lecture is over. For assignments that are only submitted in the assignment folder, that's kind of a last resort. I would assign a score and provide cryptic reasons like the sketch was not fully defined. We'll talk about what that means. Stuff that isn't real meaningful to you, rather than seeing it in person and saying, yeah, see how this is not as good, not as correct as it could be. Here's how you fix it. I may show you how to fix it and then delete what I did and make you do it. My instructors did that, and it was helpful because they didn't do it for me. They just showed me, and then I had to do it, and I learned it by doing it, which is, if you do all of the homework, you will, the projects and the test will be not real difficult for you because you will have gained the skills needed to do those projects by doing the homework. So the learner, so I will get your grades, I'll provide feedback on your grades and then enter the grades so you can keep track on how you're doing, and get after me if I don't. It's good. We both need to be fully engaged in this. So you're more than welcome to ask about your grades if they're not entered. So students are expected to check their student email daily, log in to D2L a couple times a week, use Zoom or meet on campus in person. Read your textbook, because oftentimes mistakes that happen are because you didn't read the textbook, or you just look at the end result and say, oh, I know how to do that. You go ahead and do it, and then there is the grading is not going to be solely on the end result, but on the methods. The methods that they use in this book are not always the most simple, but they do it to teach you a variety of tools that are available in SolidWorks. So that was one thing that really frustrated me early on in my SolidWorks career was, so there's 4 ways to do everything. Which way is right? What's the best way? Why are there so many ways to do these things? It gives you choices, and there's so many different tools that are available, so many different ways to use SolidWorks. You can use it in sheet metal, in plastics, in electrical, in lots of, you can model wood projects in it. You can do many different things, welding, lots of things. So there's many different tools that are available, and we will touch on a number of them. So read your textbook. Okay, apply what the text says to the assignments, upload the backup file on the published schedule, and do your work weekly. Complete work related to the weekly lecture before the class period begins. You can do that, or you can do it during class. Policies and procedures. Kind of talked about this already. An announcement will be posted and an email will be sent if class is canceled. Let's see, you may help other students in class, but you may not just give the answers or completed files to another student. That will result in a 0. Not a good thing. The idea behind being in class is to learn how to do it, and you learn it by doing it yourself, not by taking somebody else's work and presenting it as your own. So email is the official way to communicate between students and instructors, just so it's easy to reference back to see. That way you can see what we talked about, and I can see when we talked and what we talked about. The grading will be A, B, C, D, F. Again, I mentioned this earlier, there's assignments, final projects, and a final exam. There is reading exercises and backup, tutorial style book. The exercise, so when you're working through the chapter, you want to follow the steps as they're presented. When you're doing an exercise at the end of the chapter, you have a little more freedom on how you create the parts. but they should use techniques that are described in the chapter. Backing up your work in the folder is the last portion. Full credit will be achieved when you have your zip folder in there, and zip to your whole folder. Last semester, I had people zipping individual files. And why do we zip a file when we submit it is a question. The reason we do that is because D2L, when you submit a file into D2L, it will attach a prefix to it. It'll add some additional characters onto that file. And when you have a SolidWorks assembly, like the guide rod that we looked at earlier, so this is the name of the assembly is guide rod. And when we go up to File and Find References, all of these files are included. These 6 other files are included in the guide rod. If you were to take the guide rod, if you just submitted all of these one at a time into the folder, and then I tried to open up your guide rod assembly, all I would get is an assembly saying, oh, I can't find these other parts, because it lost the ability to communicate. If you put them all in a zip folder, what happens is when you submit it, that prefix goes onto the zip folder. Then when that's downloaded and these are opened, all of them can still communicate to each other because there's no prefix attached to that file name. The file names are in their original format nomenclature. The names have not been changed, so they can still communicate to each other. And it takes time to download a zip folder to extract the file and save it somewhere. So it's easier to do that one time and to have all of these available than to look at, rather than having to do that procedure for every single file. So put your files into your zip folder, into a folder, and then zip that folder and submit that. And when you submit it, I will be able to see who the submission is from. So I will know whose work it is. Okay, that was the submitting the work in a folder. The final exam, okay. Techniques, backing up your work in the assignment folder, full credit with the zip folder. The final exam is a project with multiple parts that can be modeled, assembled, and have drawings created in less than 4 hours. The final exam is to happen during class time according to the course schedule. So that would be between 5 and 9 p.m. on the final day. The final is chosen from a list of possible projects, or you may propose one. There are specific criteria. The number of points that are awarded will be the same regardless of the complexity of the project. Some of the projects are fun. There's more, a little more complex, and you get to learn more skills. The more you practice this, the easier it gets. So if you do the minimal on everything, you'll get some out of it. When I was in school, I was the guy who picked the hardest project of anytime there was a project, I always picked the hardest one. Third semester, we had a Power Ranger little action figure that we modeled. Somebody modeled the sword. That was really easy. I modeled the head, which was not easy at all. But I learned a lot of really cool skills doing that. So you'll get out of this course what you put into it. The more effort you apply, the more you will learn. Some people may struggle on something for a long time to figure it out. Don't consider that a waste of time, but rather consider it more exposure to the software and learning. You may take more time to figure out where things are, but while you're looking for certain tools, you will see other tools and gain familiarity with where those are located, which can be helpful later. Because it's highly contextual. Assignments will be graded in class, in person, live, either in the classroom or by Zoom. I typically will do it by Zoom, even if you're in the classroom, because then the people that are watching the class over Zoom can watch. And we're all doing the same exercises. You know, the same, we'll make the same rod, the same plate, the same guide, the same assembly. So typically what I see is that the further along we go in checking these assignments, if people are actually watching other people's work being corrected, they will see errors in their own projects and fix those ahead of time. So the same project, the same problems that people are having should decrease as time goes on, because you can learn from the other students' work. So if there's a way to do that, if you can work on your project and keep an ear and eye on the Zoom and see what other people are having corrected, that's helpful. In industry, CAD models are archived in a document management system. This is what I was talking about earlier, ours is called ROI. Creo, I think they have Windchill, or at least that's what it was 10 years ago when I was using it. Creating a backup is preparing you for this type of activity. Files placed in the assignment folder can be retrieved by you if something would happen to your storage media. There was somebody who did their homework at class. They stored it in their flash drive, and their flash drive fell out of their pocket, backpack, purse, coat, car, whatever, and they lost it. They lost their flash drive and all of their work. So by saving your work into a folder that's zipped and then placed in the assignment folder, you have all of that information there. Their flash drive showed up in the spring when the snow melted. It was in the snowbank, but it was gone. You know, I don't know if they got the homework off there, but that's why we back up everything in the assignment folder. So in industry, they're archived using the management system. Okay. They could be used for assigning grades. So if you lose everything, the files that have been placed in the storage media could be graded, but no feedback will be given if I have to download them and all of that. So late work will be accepted for full credit. 2 classes without forward progress results in an LDA. That's the last day attended, and at that point you're dropped from the class and you no longer have access to it in D2L. Academic integrity. The point is not to steal answers from people. Don't ask for finished work. You can ask how to do stuff and then do it yourself, but don't take files from other people. The point is to learn how to do it so that you can do it in industry or for your personal projects, whatever reason you're doing this for. Accessibility, here are some links to, you have to copy and paste these, but D2L, Adobe Reader, Microsoft, SoftChalk, Mozilla, Firefox, copyright. So the videos that are created during the class that I record on Zoom and then post on the web page, on our home page, will not be viewed by people that are not enrolled in the class and have bought the book. Because the book is copyrighted, that copyright applies also to the videos that we create by using the book. So if we're doing something else, freelance and record it, that's fine. But when we're working through the book specifically, we can't share those videos. If you're not in class, you can watch them because you bought the book and you have access to that information. Okay, class meetings and times and location, those are on the content, homepage, course material, content, course syllabus, and tentative schedule. That's where the tentative schedule is. We've looked at that already. And there it is. That was fun, wasn't it? Everybody loves reading syllabuses, syllabi. But if you have questions, this is accessible. Go to course material, content, and then it will be right here, course syllabus and syllabus. So if I go through these quickly, it's because it's being recorded and then you can watch it at your leisure. Okay, and there concludes the syllabus.